promises carry a weight of their own. In the confines of Kot Lakhpat Jail, a place where hope is as scarce as the sunlight filtering through barred windows, promises become lifelines. They are whispers of better days, assurances that the darkness will lift, if only for a moment. I made such a promise to Sohaila, an inmate who had become more than just a fellow prisoner. He was my handival, a brother in the trenches of life. But promises, as I would come to learn, can be chains of their own, binding you to choices that aren't always black and white. Sohail, or Sohaila as he was known, wasn't like the others. There was something off about him, something broken in a way that made him both vulnerable and unpredictable. His past was a series of tragedies, each one chiseling away at whatever stability he might have once had. His mother, a woman whose character was whispered about with disdain, left him when he was just a child. She chose another man over her son, abandoning him to the mercies of his father, a man who saw fit to beat him into submission rather than offer any kind of love. By the time he turned 13, Sohaila could bear it no longer. He fled his hometown, desperate to escape his haunting past, only to find himself on the streets near Jinnah Hospital. Life didn't get any kinder to him there. His mind, never fully developed, left him easy prey for those who sought to use him. He would work at a tea stall near the hospital, a job that paid him next to nothing. To survive, he began stealing from sleeping patients, food, fruit, sometimes even watches and mobiles. Whatever he could get his hands on. And then one night, the police came for him. In Pakistan, the police have their own version of justice, one that rewards them for closing cases, often at the expense of the innocent. Sohaila, with his simple mind and lack of defenses, was an easy target. They didn't just throw him in jail for the petty theft he had committed. They loaded him up with 14 or 15 other cases, crimes he couldn't possibly have committed. From the moment he arrived in Kot Lakhpat, Sohaila was obedient, almost eager to please. He clung to me like a lifeline, serving me in any way he could. Laundry, cleaning, preparing food, even getting me a glass of water when I needed it. When my chronic back pain flared up, he would massage my back until I fell asleep. He was like a personal butler, but there was more to it than that. There was a need in him, a desperate need to be useful, to be wanted. In a moment of compassion, or perhaps pity, I promised him that when I was released, I would make sure he got out too. It seemed like the right thing to do, the human thing. After all, he had been loyal to me in a place where loyalty was rare. I kept my word to an extent. I hired a lawyer, got most of his cases dismissed, and all that was left was to pay the lawyer a petty 5,000 rupees to ensure Sohaila's release. But then the doubt crept in. Was I really doing the right thing? I couldn't afford to give Sohaila a job or a place to stay. I was barely scraping by myself. What kind of life would I be sending him back to? A life of sleeping on footpaths, of stealing just to survive, of being a victim to his own mental instability. And then there was the anger, the fits of rage that would overtake him, where he would threaten to bash in the skulls of anyone who looked at him the wrong way. What if, in one of those moments, he did something? What if in trying to save him, I ended up condemning him to a worse fate? As I pondered over the dilemma, the stark reality of life outside the prison walls began to unveil itself. A life where one is free, yet chained by the shackles of societal judgment and the struggle for daily sustenance. Freedom seemed almost illusory. Jail wasn't freedom, but it provided the basics: food, shelter, a bed to sleep in. Within those walls, his anger and unpredictability were somewhat contained. If I had him released, what guarantee was there that he wouldn't end up back in jail, or worse, in a situation that might destroy him completely? The alternative was to place him in a mental facility, but in Pakistan, those institutions are even worse than jail. They're not just prisons of brick and mortar, but of mental and emotional confinement. Was that really a better option? In the end, I chose to leave him there. I didn't pay the lawyer. I broke my promise. And that decision haunts me. Did I do the right thing? I don't know, I can't know. But what I do know is that I live with the guilt of it every day. The look in Sohaila's eyes when I told him I would get him out, the trust he placed in me, those memories weigh on me like a burden I can't shake off. And that decision haunts me. It's a ghost that follows me around, a spectre of regret that refuses to let me forget. The promise I could not keep, the life I could not save. I failed him, in a way. Or maybe I saved him, The truth is, I'll never know. Some choices don't have a right answer. They linger in the grey, leaving you with nothing but the echoes of what might have been. I chose to leave Sohaila in that grey, where he had at least the basics. A bed, food, a roof over his head. But every day since, I've carried the weight of that choice like a stone in my chest. The memory of his hopeful eyes, his unwavering trust in the promise I made, it haunts me in ways I can't fully describe. Did I save him from a life of hardship? Or did I condemn him to a different kind of suffering? A suffering that I, in my own moral uncertainty, deem more manageable. I can't know. I'll never know. But what I do know is that I live with the burden of not living up to my word, of failing someone who depended on me entirely. There's a kind of irony in it all. In trying to protect him, I may have ended up betraying the very essence of what it means to care for someone. Did I shield him from a world that would chew him up and spit him out? Or did I deny him the one thing he longed for? Freedom, however fleeting or uncertain it might have been. But still I wonder, when the lights go out and the silence of the night envelops me, what did I truly save Sohaila from? And more importantly, what did I lose in trying to make that choice? All I have now is the memory of a promise unfulfilled and the question that will never leave me. Did I really do the right thing? Thank you for watching aikdastaan, where every tale is a testament to the human spirit and every voice resonates with the truth as they perceive it.